Right. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Third and Long podcast. My name is Shane Harris. Above me is our beautiful baby Hope. To the top right corner is Mr. Oliver Butler Henderson. And I'm going to say it right now. Just let him have his say. Get it done. Mr. Perrins, do you have something for us?
Just love and respect for the three of my favorite people in the entire world. That's all. Nothing to do with any of the shade that you throw at me or these expectations that we're going to get battered by Paris Saint-Germain. And I was really, really humble across the whole evening as well about like our prospects of being one of the biggest teams in the world. And I'm just not going to brag too much about it, but I just want to say a big shout out to Daniel Byrne and Sean James Longstaff and Fabian Lucas Shaw. Just really good shout out to our boys.
Can I
Is that it?
We've been here for 20 minutes on waiting to go live, and then Ollie waited until we go live to go do whatever he had to do.
I did think
What
that.
I'm talking about? Okay, I couldn't see.
Anyone swear we haven't done this before?
No, I'm rubbish. I will always forget my blooming glasses.
I would say that's
Every
old
time.
age, but I do the same thing.
Every show I forget to go, oh crap, I haven't got my glasses on. You know, it's just, it's old age. I'm the oldest one here, so what do you expect?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
well,
like I
look
said,
at
you're a
you two,
beautiful
you've got
bouncer,
20
baby
vision.
Hope.
Baby,
Everyone here-
you'll get to the point right in your late 20s where you'll wake up in the morning and you almost have to rock yourself up to get off from the bed.
Ball
you'll
yourself
know,
out of bed.
when the weather's going to be bad because you're going to be like, oh, it's going to be cold today. I can feel it in my knee. Like these are the things that you're going to have to get used to as soon as you get into your late 20s. So best of luck,
Yep,
kiddo.
and
You're
hangovers get worse.
You're
Nah.
like these in my eyes.
Yeah. Shall we talk about some football, gentlemen? Let's
Yeah.
talk
Can if you
about
want, yeah.
for Sunday night football and Monday night football because we ranted on far too much on Monday night. So Sunday night it was Zach Wilson's actually had the lights turned on, as Robert Saleh said. Lights
Yeah.
on performance.
Zach Wilson hung around with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh, it was ridiculous. He played
I
really well. Fair play
think
to
it's because Donna Kelsey was there, so he knew he had to show out.
him. He wanted to show up. He wanted to show off, didn't he? Fair play. But no,
Forget Taylor Swift, but Donna Kelsey.
You know what? The main thing that's come out of that from the end of it, not the result, not how well he played, but the fact that yes, he made the mistake. Yes, it was his fumble that cost them the game effectively because they were able to run the clock down. Mahomes literally took the slide to end up on the one, and all that blah blah blah. The fact that Lazard, Wilson, Cobb all went up to him, put their arm around him, saying, "Don't worry, you played your heart out. You got us in this position. Just because you made that mistake, it happened. Shit happened. I'd rather have Zach Wilson from bloody Monday night than Mac from bloody Sunday night. Let's put it that way."
So Clover said, "Good afternoon, gents. Good afternoon."
Hey,
Evening.
good evening, Clover. How you doing, buddy?
Ollie, there's a lesson, there's a phrase I live by, right?
Yeah.
It's never a loss, only a lesson. So he's young enough. He's going to take from this. He threw for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's be fair, nobody thought he was capable of that. But I'm not just against one of the best teams in the NFL. But he did that. And like I said, I sincerely hope now that the team rallies around him and he picks himself up and he learns from this.
So
what do you reckon?
On Sunday, Rodgers joined the team again.
Yep.
Like he's with the team again. So I think that could be massive for Zach Wilson. Obviously, Rodgers can't be on the field, but he can still be in the meetings. He can watch Zach Wilson and point out things. So I feel like that's going to really help him, even though obviously he can't do as much as he could if he was healthy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about their matchup later on in a bit, and I do think it's going to be massive for them going forward. I really, really do. What do you think of it, Mr. Perrin? That's really going to confuse me because your name's not along the bottom anymore.
So I'm kind of conflicted because I watched the highlights in the morning and Like whenever Manchester United or Liverpool play, I always root for the team that they're playing against, unless they're both playing each other, and I ultimately don't want you to get anything from the game.
Football.
And with like Kansas City, really want them to look like I really hate Kansas City because they're so good on many levels. I don't think they're as strong as they have been in previous years, but they're still really good than 90% of the league in general. It's probably the best game that Zach Wilson has ever had in the 3 years that he's been a starting quarterback in the NFL. I was surprised with how well he played, but I'm still not surprised that they ended up losing and his mistake. So, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't the only reason why they lost, but it's the thing that stands out the most because they lost. So, I still think this is going to be a write-off season for the Jets, and I think if they stick with Wilson and he remains being very meh, they're not going to get as high a draft pick as they would do if they tanked. Is it too early in the season to talk about tanking?
Oh,
No,
don't! I'm
'cause
fed up with tanking talk
I,
on the
I
Patriots group
think
chats.
I think Cincinnati needs to tank too. But you've got a question, Phil. What are you eating?
It's
question.
because I've been really lazy and I've not been feeling too great. I've just been monging out on the sofa for some time, and
Can we say that?
Monging, yeah, I use that all the time.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's in terms of I used to say it when I come home from school that I need that hour, and I call it like the monging hour, and a lot of other teachers call it that way as well.
Oh,
Well, I
God.
just need to just do nothing in front of the screen just to de-ick from like the whole school day. But like my session went
De-stress.
into a long nap as well, and oh, someone's trying to phone me. Oh, someone's trying to phone me. I can't because I'm on the radio. So
Professional.
oh, awkward. Yeah. So what was the point? Oh yeah, Zach Wilson. Oh, I still think he is the wrong. Oh, I don't think the Jets are going to solve him. He played well, and that's the best he's ever played. But he's still not that good. That's it. That's me.
I don't know because they're playing the Broncos this week. So I feel like last week we had sort of the Tank Bowl 1 with the Broncos versus the Bears, and now we've effectively got Tank Bowl 2 with the Jets playing the Broncos. Although the Broncos have won two games now. The Broncos have won a few now, so who knows? So John's come up saying he's eating snails and garlic following yesterday's Champions League defeat. Obviously. Yeah, another Newcastle fan. Great.
Okay. Monday Night Football saw New York Giants offensive line part quicker than the bloody Red Sea, with 11 sacks recorded by Seattle's off defense on Saturday, including a 97-yard interception.
For some reason, I decided to stay up for this game. Don't know why. And I saw a tweet actually by Eric Armstead during the game, which is Daniel Jones. I'm so disappointed on you. Last week you threw the ball after 2 seconds. This time you're letting the defenders have a career day. But as they did with 11 sacks, Devin Witherspoon announced himself to the NFL with, was it 1 sack and a 97-yard pick six?
2 sacks,
2 sacks,
5 tackles for loss, and a pick six.
A 97-yard pick six. And I mean, the New York is just back to being a dumpster fire of 2 NFL teams, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. It's crazy at the moment. I don't get what's going on. This team, they've improved. They've added key pieces to the roster with Darren Waller, and yet they've even worse. What do you make of it, Shane? What do you make is going on in the Big Blue at the moment?
Well, I much like our beloved Ollie Bear, stayed up to watch this game, but I actually had Monday Night Raw on at the same time. And when Monday Night Raw is more entertaining than anything, you know that thing has got to be bad. Okay? And the Giants were awful. But the Seahawks, again, you didn't see, like, they weren't that good, even though they still managed to score 24 points. Geno threw for 110 yards and 1 touchdown. You know, Kenneth Walker rushed for a touchdown as well. They were all right, but I think Oh, I think without Andrew Thomas and Saquon Barkley, the Giants are going to struggle. They're 1-3 now. I don't see it getting any better anytime soon.
No, I get that. It's yeah, it's Paul. What do you reckon to make of the Giants at the moment? Phil, are they in a slump? Are they in tank bowl?
Yes. I think there's a weird correlation between quarterbacks that got paid an insane amount of money in the offseason and now massively underperforming in the regular season. It seems like in previous years that stemmed from like running backs not getting paid their worth, and the ones that did ultimately fell. I mean, Lacey always stands out to me in Green Bay. Was it Lacey?
Yeah, Eddie Lacy.
And he got
For me-
paid a fat
Yeah.
contract, and then
For
he
me, it's
bombed.
Todd Gurley.
Todd
Yeah.
Gurley, yeah, he was insane.
J.J. for me.
Yeah, I was literally about to say J.J., probably the biggest English player ever. Unless you count, I still count. Does anybody else count Ossie as a?
Yeah,
no,
OC's
yeah.
Nigerian heritage, but he
Yeah.
immigrated to England. He's born in London. He lives in London now. His
I
wife.
know, I love him. I listened to the Aussie and J Bell podcast every week, and I love J Bell. He was with a Girls Aloud. He was with Nadine from Girls Aloud for ages.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's got a daughter in the team from Girls.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're
that's
not.
why he lives. I'm assuming that's why he's in the UK.
Yeah, and he's
So-
got like the.
John said, with so many teams tanking, who's going to win the number one pick?
Panthers.
So can I just say something about this? The Bears have the Panthers' number one pick for next year, don't they?
Number 1 and number 2.
So
Oh,
at,
God,
the
yeah.
moment,
Number two.
at the moment, the Bears are on track to have number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft.
I hate the phrase tank. No player will want to go out and lose and miss. Go, oh no, I've missed him. Oh no, he's gone and scored. Oh no. And then, they're playing for careers. They're playing
Yeah.
for money. They're playing incentives. Oh no, I've missed that catch. Oh no, I'm not going to make 50 grand. That ain't
It's
going to
like-
happen.
Yeah.
They are.
It's like with Gronk a couple of years ago when he needed that one catch to get $1 million,
Yeah.
and Brady
Brady.
just basically went like, "Next play, you're getting the ball."
No matter what the play is, you're getting it. And it was like it was a screen or something like that. It was a set up screen, and he just passed it. There you go, have it.
Right,
Bree's
just
done
a
it as
quick,
well,
just a
as
quick,
well. It's one of
just
the
a
things.
quick question, right? Just a quick question or a quick point of interest. Then, did you know that everyone's new favorite tight end, Travis Kelce, is the same age as Rob Gronkowski?
I thought
They're
you were
both
gonna say the same
34.
age as you then.
Don't be daft. No, not many people look this good for my age.
You've actually just been called out by Clover Volley. She's saying, "Do you hate the military then? If you hate tanks."
Oh yes.
Ba-bum.
No, I love a tank.
Oh my God, Clover!
Just not
I
tank
mean,
as in losing tank. Mate.
now so Clover's obviously not their real name. It's a name that they use online, but I know who it is. And Clover, that's why you're one of my favorite U11s. Okay, that's
And
quite funny. That's something that you would
John-
say in general.
John's come in saying the players won't definitely, but will the play calls interfere with the results? Well, I mean, they could.
It's a good point.
110%, mate. 110%.
I
It's a
mean,
very good point.
Joe Judge, quarterback sneak on 3rd and 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Ludicrous,
Just an
ludicrous.
example. Just an example.
Okay. So there's been a little bit of news that's happened over the NFL over the week.
Yeah. Guys, Ollie can take this.
Oh my God, yes. JC Jackson is coming home. We should never have let him go. He is one of the most shutout corners in the league in the first 4 seasons in his NFL.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
really,
it's not quite
he's really
happened
shown
since
that
he's
the
gone to
Chargers.
to LA, saying that he did rupture his Achilles in his 5th game in LA. Okay, so that's happened. He's been a healthy scratch the last couple of games. Why, makes no sense. The fact we've robbed LA for him for a 2025 swap of 6th round picks and a 7th pick, and they are paying majority of his £12 million wages. We have literally pulled the rug from under their bloody feet. I absolutely love this. And the fact that we've lost Gonzo, we've lost Jude for the season, they are both completely done with a torn Libyan. Is that how to say? The shoulder in the shoulder?
Labrum, is it?
Yeah, and a torn bicep, both needing season-ending surgery. Although Jude did say he wanted to try and come back for the rest of the season. Please don't, just rest up, come back in September, go win Defensive Player of the Year next year. I love this. JC Jackson, we can get him back to how he was, sitting well in that next season. Him and Gonzo are going to be a deadly backfield double. Him, Gonzo, Duggar, that's a great backfield three. Absolutely love that secondary. Brilliant bit of work there from GM Bill. Although I still want him retired.
GM Bill.
Ollie,
Yep.
do you think that this deal would have been done if Gonzo didn't dislocate his shoulder?
No. Although saying that, let me just bring up our injured players currently. This is our injured secondary defensive backs. Okay, corners. Jonathan Jones out. Marcus Jones out. Gonzo out. Jack Jones out. Sean Wade out. Our only two fit corners is Miles Brandt and Amir Speed before JC Jackson came in. We were buggered. It was a need. It was a must need. So yeah, I don't. It possibly could have happened. Bill's press conference on Monday is we've got to see who comes available. Within 48 hours, he was ours. Mr. Chandler Jones, you would like to talk about him, Mr. Parent?
Just quickly, Phil. Apparently, the great Ewan Bennett Martin says hi from Discord.
He certainly is great. Ewan. Just tell him that I've still got lots of his pictures that are currently hanging up on my classroom wall. But they are still with me, my friend. They are still with me. So Chandler Jones. It's not a shock that the Raiders of all teams in the NFL, have finally gone, he's not worth it. That takes a lot for the Raiders to actually turn around and say, let's be honest, because the Raiders built themselves on being a last chance saloon for problematic players in the NFL. Just look to their teams in like the 70s and the 80s and even the early 2000s. They took on Aldon Smith, when we cut him from San Francisco. Like, they had him on their roster for a couple of years. And Chandler Jones has now caused a lot of problems. Now, I will admit this first. I generally thought there was... I was actually on his side when he kicked off a while ago about being locked out of the Raiders facility. Because I was just adding it up into the whole idea of that, oh my God, it's just an absolute stupid hellhole that is going on in Vegas at the moment. Chandler Jones, blah, 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 blah. But things that have popped over since in terms of him having mental health problems, him checking himself into a mental health rehab facility. And then even the video that did you see online when he posted? He's in his back garden. He's like setting stuff on fire. And he's going on a rant about how he believes Aaron Hernandez was killed in jail, and that the NFL conspired to have him murdered so he doesn't actually divulge any information that would make them look bad. I'm just going. And then he starts crying live on his feed. I think it's on was it like a Instagram?
Instagram,
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
it?
Instagram.
It was,
And he
yeah.
starts
Live
crying,
feed, yeah.
and it's not like a crying of I miss my mate. It's a crying of almost like asking for help. And I just think there's lots of stuff going on. And I think, unlike someone like Antonio Brown, I think Chandler Jones will get the help that he needs. It's just a really upsetting situation because I really rate him as a player. He just needs a lot of help. He's going through a lot of stuff at the moment, and it just seems to be an upsetting end, and probably an upsetting end to his career, if I'm being honest.
It's brilliant that you brought this up today on World Mental Health Day.
Yeah, it is, and it's just and I just feel really sorry for him. I really, really do. Because he's not the first, and he won't be the last. And I just really wish that the NFL did more stuff to protect players, because I just don't think they do. Across whether or not it's physical health, on terms of pitches and facilities, or player unions, or mental health stuff. Because the amount of CTE. I mean, Chris Borland left the 49ers after one season because he was afraid of CTE and how it was affecting his mood early on in his career. And you just look at who was the linebacker. Hendo, that you had in the Patriots, and he committed suicide. I think it was like a year or two after he retired. Was it?
Junior Seau, I think.
Was it Junior
I
Seau?
think, yeah, I think Shano's right on that one.
Because like I remember
I
watching,
do remember
I
that.
watched him do his America's game for when he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then not long after he'd committed suicide, I went, "Oh my god!" It sounds really daft going from like he looks so happy and proud of what he accomplished as a professional, and then to be in a dark place not long after, to think that the only way out is taking your own life. That's tragic to think about. And I don't think the NFL do enough. Yes,
Yeah, Junior
concussion
Seau.
protocol. Yeah, I just think it's really. I just think it's really upsetting. That's all. But it's just a sad
The
end because I
only
think it's the end of his career.
the only sort of take I've got on this, I'm not sure if everyone knows, there's three brothers in the Jones family. It's Arthur Jones, who was drafted by the Ravens and retired from the NFL in 2017. There's the mixed martial artist Johnny Bones Jones, who, if anybody knows anything about him, has had a litany of problems, personal problems as well. And then, of course, we've got Chandler Jones. Maybe it could potentially be hereditary or some sort of family trait that could sort of bring these episodes on, like not being a doctor or any sort of advocate for any sort of expert in this field. Maybe it could, maybe it is a sort of familial disease, if, well, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that there were three brothers in the Jones family, so learned something there. Obviously,
didn't know
there are loads of Jones in the NFL. I mean, there's about 1 million on the Patriots.
Yep. We love a Jones.
Then there's
Jones.
obviously Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, as OC calls him.
Danny
Who
Jib.
else there? There's lots of Jones in the NFL. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. But
There was lots of
obviously-
Jones in the NFL. It's
He's,
all about the
he's
Jones.
digging-
Keeping up
That's
with
what
the
you took from
Joneses.
that bit.
Oh yes, most definitely. Okay. Also passing of a former Patriots tight end.
And
Mr. Perrins,
Niners.
and nine. Oh yeah, and Niners. Do you want to bring this up for us, Mr. Perrins? Because you
Yeah,
brought this to attention.
So I don't want to turn this into a 49er player thing, because even though he won a Super Bowl with the 49ers and he was on the team for 5 years, he is a Patriot. Russ Francis. And I first heard of Russ Francis during the 1984 America's game. And his career is absolutely fascinating. And I'm really devastated that Pat McCaffrey hasn't brought it up on his show, and the NFL Network haven't really referenced it. So it was only when I was scrolling through a Facebook feed, and it was a Patriots Facebook group, which I'm not a part of, but it popped up on my feed anyway.
Because of
but-
me.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Russ Francis played 13 seasons in the NFL. He was drafted from Oregon in the first round of the 1975 NFL draft, and he was picked number 16. He played for the Patriots from 1975 to 1980. He took a 2-year gap out of football, and he was a massive daredevil, and he caused quite a lot of friction between him and Bill Walsh for multiple reasons, because he was massively into just doing big stunts like like high-speed car races, and he
Nice.
wanted to break the land distance speed record. And Bill Walsh hated that, because Bill Walsh, like many head coaches, was a control freak, and he wanted to control all aspects of his team. And when you have like a tight end who you need Joe Montana to throw the ball to, and on the weekend just before the game he's like doing all these daredevil kind of stuff, there was quite a lot of friction that came between the two of them. But he was an exceptionally great tight end, because after 2 years of retiring, he came back into the league in 1982, and he was with San Francisco from 82 to 87, playing in Super Bowl 19, where the 49ers beat the Dolphins. And then in 87, he went back to New England for 2 years before ultimately retiring for good this time. He played 167 games in the NFL, again, not as high as you would think, but he did take 2 years out. He had 393 receptions, 5,262 receiving yards, and a perfect 40 touchdown record. And he was reportedly one of Joe Montana's favorite ever targets, because Montana always knew he would be there. Yeah, it's devastating. He's died at the age of 70. Genuinely one of the greats. He's in the Patriots Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He was in their 1970s All-Star team. He was in their 35th anniversary team. He's not in the NFL Hall of Fame. I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy, and that's okay to say. Like, is it okay to say sometimes a
Yeah,
player isn't
Completely.
destined for Canton? But he still can be a great player. There's lots of my favorite players that aren't 49ers players that aren't in the NFL Hall of Fame, and that's okay, because their teams recognize them for who they are. And Russ Francis is definitely someone that 49ers fans, but New England Patriot fans absolutely love. And he was a pretty boy as well. Like, he was a full-on stud in the 70s and the 80s. Like, he was one
Was
of
he a
those that
Julian
always...
Edelman style pretty boy? 'Cause
No, he was.
Or
He was
Magnum
almost
TA,
like,
wasn't he?
think of him as like Magnum TAS, because he had a little mustache.
Okay,
Ridiculously
nice.
good looking. He was 6'6".
Tom Selleck, like.
So he always had like some really
Yes.
good looking women on his shoulder. He had like this massive fur coat that you would see him at Patriots games, because he was just that. He was almost like David Beckham of his era. Like, he was flashy, he spent his money, he always had good looking girls. You know, he was just a really good all around player, and that is just, yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. And yeah, I just rest in peace to a very great man and a great player.
Most definitely.
Indeed.
So we're moving on to player of the week now.
Yep, sorry, I was just coughing at the wrong, really bad time of coughing. Yes, player of the week.
Fantastic.
Mr. Hope, will you read them off for us, dear man?
Okay, so we have Christian McCaffrey after his 4-touchdown game against the Arizona Cardinals. We had Bijan Robinson, who showed out in London for over 100 yards rushing and I think about 70 yards receiving.
32 receiving. He was at
And
just shy of
32,
100,
okay.
yeah.
We have Justin Fields, who unfortunately showed out in vain as they lost to the Broncos.
Broncos.
And Khalil Mack in his 6-sack game as the
Oh.
LA Chargers won their second game of the season.
So no surprise out of that one. Christian McCaffrey was voted by all the 49er fans and won player of the week. So, so well done. You will get an imaginary trophy sent you in the post.
Yeah. Like they're getting the
see-
Masterpiece Trophy in
Let's
February.
see that he won FedEx Ground Player of the Season for the third time this season, and he won Nickelodeon's MVP this week.
Brilliant.
MVP. Love that. Love that. Rookie of the week, dear sir.
So Anthony Richardson, who of course plays for the Colts and lost in the overtime loss to the Rams.
Yep.
Puka Nacua, who actually scored the winning touchdown in overtime for the Rams win over the Colts. Jake Moody, the 49 kicker, who still hasn't missed a kick this season. And Michael Wilson, who's from Stanford, which meant the 6 of the 7 touchdowns in the Arizona Cardinals and San Francisco 49ers game were scored by people from Stanford, as he scored 2 touchdowns for the Cardinals.
Love that.
College
stat.
football's important.
Yes, it is.
And it's
He's on like JR.
it's one of the-
DJ Squaddy has come up saying, I thought Mac was player of the week.
for the Cowboys. Yeah, so Andrew Richmond won the vote with 43%. I'm going to have a very quick question, very quickly round the floor before we go on to plays of the week, which we've got coming up in a second, which Ollie's going to run the video. LA Rams have opened the window for the training window for Cooper Kupp. So within 3 weeks, he's going to be back on the field. What's this going to mean for Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua, who have been brilliant for them in his absence?
Just quickly before you say that, he did practice today.
Yeah. So how's that going to work for them too? Yes, it means they're going to have 3 bloody good wideouts in that league team now. But is he instantly reinstalled into WR1?
Yes, he's good enough to be. I mean, did you see him 2 seasons ago?
He wasn't the same last season. Yeah, I get what you mean.
He was injured
Did
from
you
the
see him
start.
2 seasons ago? You said the same thing about DeAndre Hopkins. And you were saying, oh, he's not as good as he was. Neither is Cooper Kupp, but he's also more injury prone now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but DeAndre Hopkins has gotten old. Cooper Cup's still fairly young.
Okay. There's 2. Mr. Perrin, your choice.
So what was the question again? Sorry.
I love it when you zone out. It's brilliant.
He does doors off, love him.
Obviously, what is Cooper Cup guaranteed to be reinstalled at WR1, despite how well Puka Nakua and Tutu are gone?
No. No, he's coming back from a very, very serious injury, and as much as the Rams probably need him, don't break up what's currently working for the Rams. The Rams are going for a rebuild anyway. Whether or not that rebuild will involve Cooper Cup going forwards, we don't know. But I think no, don't break up something that's working. Have him just come in for the odd occasional plays. Don't suit him up to start the game. I'm a big fan of Puka. Again, it pains me to say it as a 49ers fan. But he's going to be a huge star. He's going to be really, really good in a couple of years.
John always cracks me up.
Oh, bloody hell. He was strong 2 seasons ago. So was COVID.
And DJ
that's
Fair
Scotty,
play.
That's the
DJ
World
Scotty
Cup he was
talking
playing
about
with
Mac
Thomas.
has said, stretch the field, mix the plays up.
Yeah, I get that. Right. In 4.5 hours, week 5 kicks off.
Play of the week.
Play of the week. Yep, go on. I've completely forgot we got that one.
And I think it's really something fun to watch every week.
2nd and 6. Josh looking down the sideline. It's Diggs with another flag out. He is able to get away from those 2 tacklers, and no one's going to touch him the rest of the way.
This was picked. Back the other way, Witherspoon. Devin Witherspoon cuts back. What a night for the rookie. You think they love him in Seattle? How about 6 points? Touchdown.
No Eagles, no chirping. General appreciation for blows through the lead.
Oh, going deep for Ayuk and a fingertip grab inside the 25. Down at the 20.
Ollie, was that video of the pick yours?
No, it wasn't actually. I wish it
Because
was,
it
because
look-
it's brilliant.
It looks like the angle from where we were sitting.
Yeah, it was right in front of us. So the ones who aren't watching or listening, we had Stephon Diggs breaking 2 ankles, literally being tackled by 2 players and escaping. That was Shana's choice. We nominated Witherspoon's 97-yard pick 6 for Mr. Perrins. To be fair, it was a great work, and he is showing why he was the number 5 pick overall. Mr. Hope took Ayuk's fingertip grab, so it's definitely gloves. And I took the Williams pick 6 at Wembley, and you could hear the crowd. They absolutely love it. The crowd was brilliant at Wembley. Absolutely outstanding. You happy with that one, Mr. Perrins, taking Witherspoon for you?
Yes. I mean, I did think that my play of the week was Christian McCaffrey doing that.
I knew he'd say that. I knew he'd say that.
The hurdle.
It was McCaffrey.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, you
pretty sure
want
that
your
was-
player of the week to be the hurdle?
Yeah, because like I mean, to be fair, when I saw it live, I thought he actually jumped a little higher than the actual replay dictates. But yeah, really good play by Witherspoon. Yeah, well done. Yeah, play of the week.
Right, now we are going on to week 5.
I literally do remember saying that it was McCaffrey, but sure.
Yeah, why not?
I'm sorry if I missed that one. It's been one of them weeks, mate. Let me.
Just
yeah.
one of those days.
Oh yes,
Don't
what a
sing
tune.
it.
Oh,
Don't sing
please,
it.
Shane. Let's hear those Welsh pipes.
Oh, so come and get it.
She said.
So yeah, we start tonight with Dumps of Fire 3.0 because
Yes, we do.
Washington, Chicago at Washington. Then we've got back over to London for Jacksonville at Buffalo, so Buffalo are the home team. Houston at Atlanta on Sunday night. Starts the Sunday night game.
John's just said if Christian McCaffrey has player of the week every time, will Mr. Relevant still get MVP?
Yes,
With our ranking system, John, probably.
he's on course to beat
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers in his last MVP year, by the way, just to let you know.
God.
Yeah. Yes, to be
No,
fair.
he is. I'm not literally even.
No,
waxing
he is. I've
lyrical.
seen that stat as well. I've seen that
I'm
stat. I
not
really
saying any
have.
different.
It's just apparently he's not good.
Talk to us about your game,
I just can't wait for him to lose.
Mr. Harris. Talk about the Ravens at Seattle, because that is quite a big game
It's
going on.
Steelers at the Steelers, not Seattle.
Steelers, yeah. I'm sorry, it's going down the line. Leave me alone. I'm tired.
Everyone knows, right? Everyone knows on this podcast, or anybody that knows me personally knows I'm a big Man United fan. Everyone knows that. And our biggest rivals are those horrible Scouts. I can't swear, it's too early. The point I'm making is, no, I'm still not doing it. Mam's probably watching. The point I'm making is rivalry games. The form book goes completely out the window.
Yep.
And I know that we are. Yeah, I know we are going to Heinz Field, and I fully expect us to win.
Stadium.
Sorry, what was that?
It's Acrisure Stadium now, not Heinz
It's still
Field.
Heinz Field.
Oh, for God's sake, whatever. You know, it's a shithole to shithole. You can change your name if you want. It's up to you. But so we go in there. And Kenny Pickett was out at the start of the week, but I believe he's day to day now. It looks like he may be starting. It won't make a difference, mind you. And the fact that it's just smash mouth AFC football. It's a huge rivalry. I will be on the edge of my seat Sunday. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. And I genuinely think we're going to go to 4-1 to roll into London next week, where I will obviously be there in person to watch them.
I'm going to make sure I've got a box of tissues in my car for you, mate.
Oh, you're going to need it. You're going to need it.
Gentlemen, probably is the game of the week, and is you two at home to Dallas. Talk us through it.
I mean, it's a week of rivalries. We've got apparently a rivalry between Baltimore and Pittsburgh, but nobody really cares about that game.
Apparently.
When Sunday Night Football is the biggest rivalry in the NFL. Cowboys at Niners.
The NFC, yes.
Last 2 years, the Niners have beaten the Cowboys in the playoffs. Dak got asked about that earlier in the week. It, and I quote, pissed him off. And he appreciated the reporter pissing him off, apparently. But my point is, the 3-1 Cowboys against 4-0 Niners. It's a hell of a game. Game of the week, possibly game of the year. Could be a repeat in the playoffs. Phil, take it home.
All right. The all-time San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboy record goes as this. The 49ers have won 19 encounters. The Dallas Cowboys have won 19 encounters. And there's only ever been one tie between the two organizations. So whatever happens this weekend, we're going to get a winner or we're going to get a tie. That's essentially what it is. I personally feel, because I've been looking at the NFL media today, betrayed, because apparently Trey Lance has been working heavily with the Dallas Cowboy personnel, going through the individual rosters, the strengths and weaknesses of the offense, as well as the defense, and some of the personality traits that the individual players also possess. So mixed bag. Whenever we play Dallas, it always feels it's a big game. And, you know, Baby Hope said that particular, it's probably the biggest game, one of the biggest games, because I think Green Bay and Chicago is possibly bigger. Eagles against anybody in the NFC North, East, sorry. So it's huge, and you're probably going to see this encounter again in the off season as well, whether or not it's a championship game or one of the divisional rounds. It's huge. I don't know who to call for, because my heart naturally will say San Francisco, but I'm very confident in our offense, but I'm not. In
10 minutes, you'll have to make up a choice anyway.
I'm not. I'm basically what I'm saying is I'm not overly confident in our defense, because even though I don't think Steve Wilkes is doing a bad job, our defense, it seems less disciplined like it has in previous years. We seem to be giving up more.
Not the same under DeMarco Ryans.
Yeah, D'Amico or even Salah. We were very good at stopping the run game. That our pass game ultimately suffered, but we were really good at stopping the run. And Wilkes is supposed to be a DB specialist as a defensive coordinator, and I still think that we're giving away too much yardage, whether or not in the air or on the ground. But it's going to be tight. I'm more nervous about the game this year because of the previous seasons of us ending their season quite spectacularly. The Cowboys are going to have a little bit more between their teeth. I do think, however, there's still so much disrespect thrown at Brock Purdy. I'm sorry, but there is.
I'm starting to see more about Brock. So,
John found the mistake I made where I put the Vikings twice and no Raiders. But don't worry, Johnny. Either way, you'll still probably beat the Packers on Monday night.
Right. Yeah, New Orleans going to New England. Don't need to talk any more about that one.
He's accepted the rest of the season already.
Mate, we've got no defense. Our offense is about as useful as a wet fart.
But JC Jackson's back. It's his first game.
JC Jackson's back, but how much is he going to play? I don't know.
He's the savior. He's the savior. No,
we've lost our star rookie, and he is our star rookie. He's been the best player on the defensive side of the ball. We lost our best player the last 4 seasons. Well, 3 seasons in Matt Judon. And Mac, yes, he's going to have to come out. He has said he's got to do better. He's got to read the plays better. He's got to do him a better job. All the coaches have said exactly the same. Henry's come out the same. David Andrews has come out the same, etc., etc. So yeah, they have to do better. Yeah, that'll do about that game. Don't need to talk any more about that till Monday night. Is there any other games that jump out? We're going to talk about the London game in a bit in the prediction games. Any other games that jump out to you?
Rams Eagles. Yeah, same. Snap.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Rams Eagles.
Yeah.
Tell me. Talk to me.
Well, the Rams have been a bit of a surprise package this year, 2-2, and have actually played well. The Eagles are 4-0 and haven't looked that good. I mean, just today on Good Morning Football, they were saying, "Can we criticize the Eagles when they're 4-0?" So if the Eagles don't perform as well as at their best, I think the Rams could shock a few people here and beat them.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there was always a phrase is, Arsenal always used to go to see it, boring Arsenal, they win 1-0. So what? They won the game 1-0. That's fine. Brilliant.
I thought that was a thing on Chelsea as well.
Boring Arsenal.
Yeah. Philadelphia are doing enough to win. That is all they're doing. They are doing enough to win. That's all they need to do, and then they keep that up. Once they find their form, wow, that's going to be scary. I quite like to look at Kansas at Minnesota on Sunday night at 9:25. 2 not fully firing teams. Minnesota can hit them if they go deep, although Trent McDuffie is coming out to be a very, very good second-year cornerback. Mr. Perrins.
Sorry, the one thing that's really put me off, because I did look at that fixture, and I think if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago about that fixture, I would be interested in it. And it's got nothing to do with the Chiefs starting the season. It's got nothing to do with how bad the Vikings have done. But no, it's actually that. The last 2 weeks, the NFL coverage of Taylor Swift, oh no, there's Mahomes passes the ball to Kelsey, instantly cuts to the stands in the VIP section for Taylor Swift. And it's a rushing touchdown where Kelsey was not involved whatsoever. Instantly cuts to the VIP section in the stadium for Taylor Swift. I like Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift is aesthetically nice to look at as well. But I don't need to see it on every single play. She's actually really putting me off. And the NFL Twitter feed as well.
Yeah.
Literally had her in their banner. And it's ridiculous.
I saw that. It's ridiculous.
So I will be more anti the Kansas City Chiefs than I would ever be anyway. Because I don't.
Right, how about this one?
Swift.
How about who's up for the Cardinals beating the Bengals?
That's a given. Josh Dobbs is playing outstanding at the moment.
He's playing lights out.
He's playing.
Who would have said that at the beginning of the season?
You know, the funniest thing is, have you seen his social media? Cardinals didn't actually have his jersey in their stadium.
They didn't have his jersey on the screen in this shop where you could select which jersey you want. He couldn't get his.
I saw that. He was laughing about it.
Yeah. Oh, he's dying again.
Yeah, man. This is why I didn't do Andy's show on Tuesday night. I
Oh,
had
you should have
literally
done.
next.
You should have done. It
Yeah,
was a good show.
yeah. I listened
Speaking
to
of
it.
speaking of
I
Andy's
just want
show,
to say,
shameless plug.
Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes' brother together at the same stadium all season.
Don't forget,
Yeah,
don't forget Brittany.
Get that shameless plug in, Shane.
Yes, but no worries. Me and my brother from another mother, Baby Hope, was on Andy Davis, good friend of the show, his show Across the Pod on what day was it?
It was
Tuesday.
Monday? Tuesday. Yes, I can't remember. Yeah, on Tuesday we've put it out there on our social feeds. If you want to have a quick listen, it doesn't take long. We bring up a couple of good points, and yeah, so like I said, have a little look.
There's a
I
great.
do want to question you about Zay Flowers though, but we'll do that another time.
There's a great discussion.
Alright.
There's a great discussion about hotels in San Francisco. That's a real.
Oh yeah, these pair of travel agents now.
Pier 39 as well.
Yeah.
Right.
The
On to the
Cecil Hotel.
predictions. Yeah. On to the predictions. Me and Mr. Harris are leading the way by a country mile. We are on 13.
Yeah, boy.
and
It's a long. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
These Niner boys have got 9. Something sounds familiar. No, it's that way.
Ha!
No, it's that way. No, I don't know. It's something like that. It's backwards. I'm
In
backwards.
2 years, we still can't do it.
No, mate. Right. The first game we've got is obviously the London game. Jacksonville have been over here a week. They've done so much work this week, promo work, done a lot, been visiting a load of schools. Their social media has been brilliant this week. They are at home. They are
Away.
in Tottenham. The Bills are the home team. The last time these two played each other, Bills lost 34 to 31. Jacksonville won. What are we saying about this game?
Josh Allen is probably the front runner for MVP at the moment. He's going to have way too much for the Jacksonville defense. I don't like this because Brock Purdy should be up there, but I think Josh Allen probably is the front runner. Him, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, James Cook. The offense is just so powerful. Von Miller might be back, so I've got the Bills to win. Possibly
He has
by
travelled with the
over-
team as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
by
I didn't mean
more
to-
than one. By more than one score.
Mr. Parent.
I want to almost say like the good times will continue for Jacks, but Buffalo are just going to be so, and they're in such a big high as well. You know, they're coming off a divisional rival game against the Dolphins where they beat them quite convincingly and quite heavily. Yeah, Josh Allen's starting to look. I mean, I criticized him a couple of weeks ago. He must have heard our podcast because he's he's definitely kicked it up a gear. Yeah, I can't see anything other than the Buffalo Bills winning by 2 scores.
And Mr. Harris.
Tony Khan's boys are going to be on the edge of their seat. See you at parents. But I thought so. But yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I think the Jags are playing really well, but inevitably the Bills are like Thanos. They are inevitable and they will win as well.
I am waiting for Josh Allen to sack Josh Allen.
I've asked about the odds for that. I still haven't got odds for that for you.
Yeah, Paddy Bar haven't got back to me either.
I was seriously looking forward to Josh Allen say, because the last time they played each other was 2 years ago in Florida.
I remember
and he
that
got
the Niners lost.
Josh
to
Allen was
Cardinals really
sacked by
heavily
Josh
that game.
Allen. He had a fumble recovery by Josh Allen, and he also had an interception by Josh Allen.
Sackception.
Josh Allen had a day.
Yep. You know, so I'm not doing that. I generally think that Jacksonville had the week over here. There's no traveling, there's no turn from. They're acclimatized. That sounds really stupid because they were both Northern Hemisphere teams and the weather's roughly the same. But they haven't got the travel. They won't have any jet lag in their systems. They're not anything like that. Buffalo are traveling tonight. They're on the red eye tonight.
Wow,
so they're
that's
going to be
late.
landing tomorrow morning.
That's really late.
It's the same flights that Atlanta did.
Oh, okay.
So they're arriving tomorrow. I am going for Jacksonville to cause an upset, and I really do think this can happen. They looked so good against Atlanta. Their defense is really underrated. I think their defense is really underrated. They've got Cisco, who's a brilliant, I want to say free safety.
Cisco's going to be back this week.
Yeah, dong 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 dong.
There you go.
I was literally doing the same thing in my head as well.
Yeah, every time they said Cisco on the announcer, I was just like, jump like a truck, every time.
Second game is Bengals Destroyers in Tennessee Titans against Anthony Richardson's. Get my words
Anthony
right.
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson's led Indianapolis Colts. What are we saying, Shano?
Oh, I don't want the Titans to have any sort of momentum rolling into London to ruin the biggest day of my life, right? But I got a funny feeling they will. She might be watching. I think they played so well against the Bengals last week. I think they'll win this one as well.
Okay.
I think Derrick Henry played really well last week. Perhaps that's sort of done things mentally to him to make him realize just who the hell he is and come back to where he needs to be. But then again, you can't count out the Colts because the Ravens have played the Colts and I watched them and that connection. Just watching Michael Pittman, he's just amazing. And you've got to rely or at least think about the X factor of Minshew Mania. You know, is he going to come in for a couple of plays? Is he going to is Anthony Richardson going to struggle? You don't know. But I'm going for the Titans in this one.
Mr. Perrins.
Brother.
Tennessee or Indianapolis?
They both have almost the exact same record.
I know.
Like the Titans 2-2, 0-2 away. The Colts 2-2, 0-2 at home. Like they're not great teams. Like What do you think I chose? All right, Titans.
Mr. Hope.
I've got the Colts.
Yeah, I'm going for Colts as well.
Okay.
I think Richardson's gonna find holes in that Tennessee defense, and I just think the Colts defense will just about hold up enough to let them shade it 23-20.
Yeah, I generally think that the Colts are slowly starting to build something now. You know, Shana said it, Pittman and Richardson are having something now. Jonathan Taylor is back. He is back. He's been released. He's back. He's released off Pip. He says he's willing to play. He wants to play. He's going to give it everything he's got. He's going to play
to get a trade.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's going to
he's played what's called shop window football.
Exactly. So I've gone for Indianapolis to win this. Zach Wilson against Russell Wilson.
The battle of the Wilsons. The battle of the Wilsons.
Yeah. Mr. Perrins. The battle of the Wilsons. Zach or Russ?
Zach. I'm going to go Jets. Jets are just a better team. They have a better coach. They're better players. They're better individuals. Even though they both have a losing record, I just think the Jets are a better team.
Nice.
I'm exactly the same for the same reasons. There's no point in repeating it. So
you can do Ollie. It's fine.
So
I have to repeat the exact same instructions every single day of my work. So
the Jets are the better team. They have the better coach, the better players. They're just more of a better team.
Yeah.
You had a conversation with Andy the other day. I think it was Andy shared that. It might have been ours that he's past it. Sean Payton is one of these dinosaurs type of coaches now. He hasn't rolled at the times. I'm going for New York as well.
I think that was Monday.
Yeah. Go on then, Phil. Very quickly before
just very quickly. You're absolutely right. I've heard quite frequently as well this week on other pods about like Tomlin, Riviera, Belichick, Payton. They're all defensively minded old coaches that have kind of come to their timing and they're just holding on for dear life. And I think Payton is the exact staple of that.
And Mr. Harris.
If I had a coin right now, I'd flip it and I'd be happy with wherever it landed on. This is exactly like the Bears and the Broncos. It'd be exactly like off the fence. It was exactly like the Bears and Broncos last week. You couldn't pick a winner. Just to play devil's advocate, I'll go with the Broncos.
You know what? It's not a bad shout, but that New York defense is scarily good. Really, really good. And the offense on New York is good. Bryce Hall. If 49ers traded for Pat Surtain, which the rumors are, Broncos might as well just play college players because that's how good that defense is. Pat Surtain makes them a half decent defense.
Yeah.
So I'm going for New York.
Go get him, John Lynch. Go get him, John Lynch.
Yep. Phil, you said you didn't want
Yes.
to choose earlier on, but I'm going to make you choose now. Niners or Cowboys?
San Francisco, 10 times out of 10. Quest for 6.
We are going 5-0. We are going 5-0. McCaffrey masterclass again. Niners to win by 2 scores.
2 scores?
2 scores.
Shano.
I'm probably going to regret this, but call me Hangman Adam Page come Sunday night 'cause I'm a cowboy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're such an arsehole.
I know.
Right.
Ollie, I know how you feel about this game, Ollie. And you look so smug
I
about it too.
have a cowboy. So I coach, as we know, I coach kids football, and
Really,
Chris,
you haven't mentioned
if he's watching this, Chris, he said to me, I didn't want to mention anything earlier on because obviously he's a Cowboys fan and Patriots got dicked by them on Sunday night. That Dallas defense is very underrated.
Yes.
Very, very underrated. It's years all the time that they've gone, Jerry Jones just likes the flashy offensive players. He doesn't like drafting defensive stuff. He's got some very good defensive players and they're very well coached there, which is quite scary. And their defensive lineman is an English coach, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. In fact, his linebacker coach, not defensive lineman.
The guy from London.
Yeah, the guy from London.
His face.
They were the quickest to get to Mac Jones this season.
Yeah, but that's because
Mac Jones
was just waving him through.
Yeah, exactly. But they are quick, and Micah Parsons wasn't on the pitch for a lot of the time. He was injured, and that makes it even scarier. So if he's fit, Cowboys, and I'm going to stick my neck on line and say Cowboys are going to beat you in overtime. And I'm going to take a 17 lead.
Don't say overtime because I'm staying up for it.
You got to work anyway, mate. It's fine.
Yeah, but I still like to go to bed.
It's cruel.
I am cruel. I'm in that kind of mood. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, as always, for tuning in. The 52 comments, that's probably between Mr. Perrin's students on YouTube. Very, very comical. As always, love watching those ones. Mr. Perrin's, enjoy the Champions League for another week or two until next week. Mr. Hope, Mr. Harris, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good night. Stay safe.